Welcome back to Redbeard RPG and
Sure.
Pillars of Eternity. In the last episode, we fought for our claim on Cade Nua. Now let's get back to exploring the rest that Defiance Bay has to offer. Very curious. I know there was a couple side quests we had to
I'll
do.
grant you that animancy has had its failures, Balreach among them. But does that warrant attacks on innocent practitioners? Superstitious Kith have spilled their share of blood.
That's no comparison. Animancers have the advantage of education, and with that comes authority and responsibility.
I have to say, it's wonderful to have someone to debate with. You'd think they'd be more welcoming of it at the Law College.
And a comfortable silence.
Kind of listening to what they had to say. That's an interesting take. Head off this way. Let's see if there's anything of interest in this. What building do we got here? The Valian Embassy.
All these circling feet heading nowhere.
Is that so? I feel like we're accomplishing stuff. We're figuring out things about the world.
How do you do?
What can this humble servant of the Republics do for you? What do you do here? As the Valiant Ambassador, it's my job to ensure trade with Direwood remains as strong and profitable. Okay. Who's this guy? What business do we have with the Republics? That's real quick. Yeah, let's check, make sure. Current price ranges, commodities. Okay. That's stealing. Nothing there. I have a hard time they put all this stuff in here with no... What is this? Oh, that's just straight up a book. Definitely want to see what's in there. Yes?
That's settled.
Really? We'll take it. We need some money. No one's in here to catch us, so I think we'll be all right. Blueprints of in-progress trade deal. Okay. And that we're not going to have enough lockpicks.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. The good treasure's probably in there. Well, this building's kind of a dud. I don't see any quests of any sort to pick up. Now, across the main path, I did see we got Crucible Keep up here. I have a feeling there will be something of interest in here. I believe this is the base of the knight we had in the previous episode. Who
Good day, stranger.
he got kicked out of this place. Who are you? Soldier of the Crucible Knights, and proud of it, I help keep everything running at the keep so that the commander, Cliver, can focus on more important matters. This is the headquarters of the Crucible Knights. It's where we store arms and armor as well as bunk. And the Crucible Knights are defenders of Defiance Bay. We're not exactly a formal knighthood, but don't tell Commandant Cliver that. We're first organized militia to oppose Adrian rule. And today we're the largest force in our city. Our soldiers undergo years of combat training, and our officers are required to have their souls read by that critter in Dunyard Row. What's that about done you'd grow? It's just a requirement of the Crucible Knights, so higher ups know that there's nothing messy built in your soul's past. Keeping the ranks pure is fine by me. I just wish they were more careful about hiring their ciphers. What's wrong with the ciphers? Orlin Admar regards you a moment, his expression soaring. I'll say it plain. Orlins aren't suited for the work. Hostilities in their nature, it's hard for them to overcome it. Oh. Let's see. Yeah, that seems like an extreme position to take. Should I do the Orlin specific thing? No, that seems like an extreme position to take. I'm just speaking the truth. Nowadays, it seems that's the biggest crime of all. All right, we're done with you. He is not a kind fellow. Assumes the worst of others based on what they look like. Not exactly an admirable trait by any means. If it's about patrols, my novelties are already stretched to the limit. Between the refugee influx and the mess at Heritage Hill, I simply don't have any units to spare. I'm sorry, was there something else you need? Is there something wrong on Heritage Hill? What isn't wrong is the real question. A whole district of walking flesh-eating corpses. We sealed the area 2 months ago, just after I lost one of my finest commanders there, and yet second guard rotation. And yet this is the second guard rotation to disappear. There are already enough rumors about this place floating around the keep without my soldiers whispering these disappearances. I just as soon abandon the district, but if those monsters should find a way out, yeah, tell me a little bit more about that. Used to be one of the most prestigious districts in all of Defiance Bay, but a few months ago the residents all went mad, started eating each other, and anything else that had the bad luck to wander into the district. I've never seen anything like it. Now every naivete that stands their guard there, everyone that comes back anyway, talks of the stench of grave and groans of unspeakable horrors. The way and the how are questions for animancers. I've sealed the districts in hopes of containing whatever happened there. It seems to be working for now. I could look into it. After what I just told you, you want to go to Heritage Hill? I've lost trained soldiers there. Why would I let anyone in? Let's see. Your trained knights have nothing on me. If you're so eager to rush your death, I won't stop you. And if you're somehow able to put a stop to this, you've got my permission to enter Heritage Hill. I'll send word to the guards at the gate. Nice. What do you do here? I'm in charge of the keep's Neovates. I'm responsible for their training and patrol assignments. They're good soldiers, and they've been quick to adapt to new challenges. Okay. All right, we got another quest. You got nothing for me. I'm assuming what she's calling Nevate are like trainees of sorts. Let's see what's in this room. Let's see. Painting shows a row of warriors standing atop walls of Defiance Bay as the Edra's ships sail away. Nice. They fight against tyranny, but they apparently hate Orleans, which I am. Oh, we got someone enough experience to level up. We are low on lockpicks. Next time we're at a store, we just need to buy whatever they got. Probably not ideal to go ahead and rob them. Thick grime cakes to the bottom of the tub, towel hanging with an awful stench. Good to know they take care of things. Go ahead and level you up. Let's see what we can do for you. Right. Stealth is helpful. Athletics is not. That is surprising. You would think that would be a main skill for a rogue or ranger or hunter. Okay, it's survival and stealth are the main ones for her. So we can afford to do another stealth. Survival is already quite expensive, so we'll do one of those. We get a little athletics as well. Ranger abilities. What do we got here? 20% attack speed, 50% reload speed, minus 7% accuracy though. 15% defense against AoE attacks. Animal companion. Same thing. Let's see. Stalker's Link. 10% accurate when using the same target as Animal Companion. 50% damage against targeted effects by damage over time. That's pretty good. And Arrow Sense is 15% deflection against range. And Vicious Aim is minus 20% rage attack, minus 20% reload, plus 10 ranged accuracy and ranged damage. Doesn't seem like a very good trade-off. That was plus 50% damage against targets affected by damage over time. Heightens predatory instincts of the ranger animal's companion, giving them damage bonus on any creature suffering damage effect over time. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That sounds interesting. All right. I did off screen. I leveled up a bunch of the other guys, so we're all, I think, level 5-ish now. You actually
Well
have
met,
a
friend.
Oh, this is the guy who stole the armor, I believe. Are you looking for something? Does the name Ostrich sound familiar? He sniffs. If you got any self-respect, you won't associate with him or with any of his new friends at Expedition Hall, for that matter. Scamps and delinquents, a lot of them. He said your affidavit is a forgery. And just what would he know about that? It's perfectly convenient for him to cast aspirations, what with his pedigree in the Knights. It's a lie, of course. So then what's the story between you? Ulrich always held some controversial opinions, but they went overlooked for the longest time because his family had such an extensive history of service in the Crucible Knights. He finally went too far and had the gall to suggest we had strayed too far from our roots, that some of our officers were beginning to resemble the Adria nobility. Ooh. He would have us all wear rough spun and fight with forge hammers. I merely reported his statement. That history made the Knights what they are now. You can't just cast it aside. We've outgrown the past. Sometimes you need to move on. Outgrown like an old seaskin coat. You adapt with the times, sure, but that's a bit naive. Is that his breastplate you're wearing? It was. It became property of the Crucible Knights when he was discharged. Now it's mine. And it's not for sale, if that's what you're wondering. Not every day you find armor that was used in the rebellion. Ooh, I got experience for that. Enough about Ostrich. How does someone become a knight? We don't take just anyone. Our members share soul legacies with the very men and women who defended this land a century and a half ago. Anyhow, Commander Cliver is responsible for initiations, but he rarely accepts foreigners. Primary, okay, that's the same thing everybody says. Okay. So that got updated, that quest. Rogue Knight. Yeah, I found his breastplate. Find his affidavit. Okay. So that's the next part I need to do is figure out where his affidavit is. I assume probably in one of these locked chests would be my guess. If I go
Quickly
into
and quietly.
sneak,
Greetings.
yeah, I didn't think there was an option to pickpocket in this game. Unless I'm missing something. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. Let's see. That's locked. You have a unique name. Maybe
If this is
you...
about the breastplates, I already told Cleaver they won't be repaired till next week.
Show him the blade of endless paths. I found several fragments of an ancient sword. Do you think you could repair it? That's a fine blade indeed. Looks Adrian, special made. Must have been a commission for a champion of some sort. A sword of this caliber would have had a specially designed hilt too. It'd be a shame to graft anything else onto it. And besides, it it'll balance best with the original pieces. If you find the rest of it, I'll forge it for you. Interesting. All right.
I'm a
What do you
forge
do?
master. I'm a master smith for the Crucible Knights. But the way I see it, I'm also keeping up with our old traditions. The first members of our order were smiths. Nowadays, most everyone's a professional soldier. I suppose it's to be expected, but I think it's important we keep up with our roots, too.
That's fair enough. Tell me about the night.
We were all smiths back in Hodrick's day, though I'm about the only one here who still gets his hands dirty. We're a fearsome fighting force, though these days I think Cleaver takes more pride in our parade formations.
Isn't that always how it goes? He thinks himself a progressive man, but he's obsessed with soul lineages and connections to Deerwood's heroes of old. Other than Dunyard Rowe, who really knows any? Who knows about any of that? Interesting. What's in there? Just some camping supplies. Don't even really need that right now. So is that all the rooms we got in here? Oh, we haven't gone upstairs. We haven't gone that way. We have been through the main hall, which it looks like we're looping back around to. Is this? Yeah, that's the main entrance we came through. Okay, so we need to check out this direction and then head upstairs from there, if we're even allowed to. But we will find out soon enough. Huh. Nobody in here? There's got nothing. Symbol of the Ivan is a colossal smithing hammer imposed over circular gear. Daily affirmations of focus and efficiency. Okay, so that's like general rules for the knights, I assume. Let's head up this way.
We just don't have the manpower.
If only there were a group of people to help out.
Refugees from every corner of the Deerwood. The dozens getting them all riled up about animancy. At this rate, we'll need twice the soldiers to patrol Defiance Bay. Yes? Can I help you with something?
Why don't you have enough soldiers?
Fleetbreaker Castle. The High Justice has summoned almost half of my novitiates and more of my justiciars to a keep on the other side of New Hailmar.
Okay.
It's not for me to question the High Justice's orders, but it's left us short-handed. And mark me, we're just a couple sparks away from anarchy.
With so many newcomers, can't you just recruit more soldiers? More recruits means more training, which means more time from experienced soldiers that I don't have. Anyhow, I hardly see how this is any of your concern. If you got something to ask me about, if you got the time to ask me about it, then perhaps you got something constructive. Forge Master Dustin is working with an animancy scholar to build what we're calling Forge Knights, warriors that control our streets without suffering fatigue, disobedience, or fear. Some agitator throws a rock at him. We don't have to worry about things getting out of hand. He's constructed the armor. We need the scholar's research. Unfortunately, she hasn't been around the last few times my I forget how he said it. Negatives have checked. Vienna lives with the rest of the Scribners out in Copper Lane, but I haven't had the soldiers spare a moment. Go to the dormitory and see if you can find her. We can do that. When you get the research, bring it to Dunstan. This is his area's expertise anyway. Once you brought him the research, he can sell you any arms and armor you need. He forges and repairs all of our equipment. You won't find a more capable smith in Defiance Bay. Okay, interesting. So you're in charge of the Crucible Knights. Here in Defiance Bay, anyhow. High Justice is the leader of our order, but he's currently stationed at Fleetbreaker Castle. My job is to oversee forces in Defiance Bay and keep order. All right, interesting. Why did I not get an opportunity to offer my services? That's locked. That's locked. What are the bookshelves? Oh, they're scroll shelves. That's why they look like wine racks. Edict of Arrest. Aaron, whose actions have led to the death of a Knight of the Crucible, it was reporting information to a Juskar Admar, who signed the command of Cleaver. Interesting. Development of lower ranks. And that's considered stealing, okay. Not looking to start any trouble with these guys. They outnumber us by quite a lot. Even though they likely do not use magic. I bet they could probably mess me up. Just by sheer numbers. So we are certainly going to need more lockpicks, I assume. They made it seem like that guy's
In
lineage.
Tacoma, we have a memorial for the Saints' War. They say a Rawatai artillery master contributed to the Godhammer bomb. I wondered if...
Of course. You want Rawatai to be a part of this history. Crow about how your people helped the Deerwood. Maybe your Ranganui lied, Amawa.
On
Good
second
grief.
thought, I'll ask anyone else.
That's probably a wise decision. We do have a temple here in town. Let's check that out, and then we'll move on with quests. I think that's the way to go. Oh, is this like another... Like the entrance is going to be a hole in the ground kind of thing? Or is this just straight up what's left of it? Oh. What is this?
Praise to the exiled queen. May her crown be restored and her justice prevail.
Oh,
Come to pay your respects to the queen that was.
I guess. Oh, this is the main quest. Okay. Ghost hovers in the middle of the ruin, reciting blessings and prayers. Even as the spirit's form shifts and swirls, it retains a face of an elderly man and robes that mark wealth and status. Yeah, who are you?
Lord Ardwellen Rugfold III.
Ah.
I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. I came to the Deerwood on one of the first ships from Adia. And unlike the yokels and hut dwellers around here, I still keep to the old ways.
What do you mean by that? It's truly a pity to see what the locals have done with Wolketta's house of worship. I was told to find the Temple of Wolketta here.
And so you did. These savage colonists may have burned it down, but worship of the Oathbinder is alive and well. These stairs lead to the main sanctum.
Stairs?
These stairs, of course. The sanctum was always below ground, adjacent to the catacombs, so it wasn't destroyed by the fires.
And tell me where I can find an entrance to these catacombs.
There are various entrances throughout Defiance Bay, but I dare say the easiest to reach is in Copper Lane. I haven't been to that part of town in ages, but as I recall, it's somewhere near the southern gate.
Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind. What are you doing there, bud?
Worshipping Woodaka, the exiled queen and oathbinder. I come every day to offer my devotion. I'd love nothing more than to book passage back to Adia, but it is my emperor's wish that I serve in these barbaric lands. And so I do.
Okay. I'd like to know more about Woodica.
A queen among the gods. She oversees laws and oaths. Everything has a rightful place, and Woodica watches over them all.
Okay.
Of course, not everyone accepts this. Even among the other gods, her authority is questioned. But Woodica is also goddess of memory and vengeance, and she remembers. She'll remember every slight and trespass when she reclaims her throne.
Interesting. Okay. And you're aware that you're a ghost, right?
I beg your pardon? Is this some sort of joke where you come from?
No, I'm very serious. Why don't you take a look at yourself?
A madhouse. That's what this town really needs.
Okay. All right. Have a good one there, bud. Sangi draws up next to you. You all right? You almost look like you lost your footing for a minute. Feels that way when I see into the ether. You really are a watcher, aren't you? Once in a great many generations, one of my people was born with the ability to speak to souls. Usually, such individuals become elders or a lone set of tracks in the snow. I would have thought my journey would be easier if I could see what you see, but looking at you, I'm not sure. Yeah, neither am I. Believe it or not, I once would have rejoiced to know I'd be picked to travel far in search of something great. But even these gifts come with a cost, don't they? Forgive me if I was a little skeptical of your abilities before. I can't say I've met a real watcher before. Once you've seen it a few times, the shock wears off. Every time he goes a little strange in the face, I try and see if I can hear anything. Hasn't worked so far. See if you can get him to tell you what the spirit said. All right, he marches off all grumpy. Okay. Was this like where the stairs used to be, I assume? Weeds grow thick, uncontrollable by the passion to kill. You said there's stairs somewhere about here. Like some blood moss, why not? Okay, so he just hangs out there now. Okay, this is probably where the entrance used to be. Okay. So we do need to go back to Copper Lane for this. I think we need to go back to Copper Lane for... Didn't we make progress on another quest as well? We find his affidavit. Yeah, the Scriver's Dormitory in Copper Lane. All right, so we'll head back to Copper Lane, and we'll get to work on those quests next time. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and have a good one.